Streets Unplugged by the Luxembourg Streetphoto Collective.
Hello everyone, and welcome to this new episode of Streets Unplugged. We are recording here from the Light Leaks Festival, and our guest today is one of the guest speakers of the festival, but also a street photographer, a very talented, very good street photographer, Graciela Magnoni. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Mark. Thank you, guys, for all the welcome in that festival.
Well, thank you for coming. And before we go into your work and asking questions about your photography, maybe you can present yourself. So you were born in Uruguay, yes, but you're a true cosmopolite. So maybe a few words on.
Yes. Yes, I was born in Uruguay from a Uruguayan mother, a French father. Grew up part of my life, my childhood in Brazil, but among of other places. Also, I live in Paris and moved all my life. Live in the US for 15 years, Singapore 20 years, and Paris 10 years, Brazil also 15 years. People make the calculation and they feel I'm 90 years old. But no, not yet. Just moving a lot.
Okay. And
my husband is from India.
Okay, so
from Punjab.
True, yeah.
So
okay.
That, like I always said, I chose to make my life even more complicated.
So true citizen of the world.
Yes.
And how did you end up in photography? I think you started with photojournalism. Is that correct?
Yes. I started when I was in high school in Paris. I always said there was the only two hobbies for teenagers at the time. One was music and the other photography. Okay. So I started like many teenagers and friends of mine, and that became my career in the press in Brazil. Okay. I started in a small newspaper, a political newspaper. It was the equivalent of L'Humanité in France. It was the organ of the Communist Party in Brazil. And I had the chance to be a photographer there for 4 years, and I learned everything there. And it was very interesting.
And when you compare now your photojournalism compared to street photography, what would you say are the major differences? And also maybe what did you like about photojournalism and what did you not like that much?
Yes. Well, I worked like 15 years more or less in photojournalism in an amazing time in South America. So for me, it was probably the best time of my life. Very interesting. I have access to so many interesting things and a lot of traveling. And I think the main difference, at least if I remember from that time, is like photojournalism is very event oriented. A lot of the assignments are like that. Not all, but it's quite event oriented. And also you have to have a clear message. And so who is the audience, who is sponsoring you, which newspaper you work or magazine. You don't have huge freedom, and then usually you have an editor editing your pictures or publishing, and you are constrained with the size of the picture, if it's vertical or horizontal, so there is a lot of aspects that limit your creativity or whatever is going to be published. You can always do whatever you want besides the assignment, but what is going to be used is not going to always depend on you. Okay. And street. So what I don't like is like always, for me at the time, I always used to say, I have 20% of my assignments were a dream. Traveling, covering big events, but 80% were like quite not the best assignments. But to make the 20, you had to do the 80. Okay. You cannot choose only the 20. Yes. So for street, you have, of course, it's much more creative. You are independent. You don't have all these limitations.
Yes.
But at the same time, sometimes also the problem of street sometimes could be that self-motivation, and to know what you want to say, how you're going to focus in your work, maybe you can feel lost. And if you don't have that self-motivation and that really focus and a clear vision, I think it will be very difficult, because what do you do with all this freedom?
And how do you keep that motivation? I mean,
I keep the motivation. I think I'm very self-motivated, very much. I think I kept, because for many years when I used to work and have to do all these 80% that I didn't like assignments, I enjoyed so much those 20%. That was amazing. And for me to suddenly be like kind of free of this editorial line and assignment base and negotiation all the time, to be free. And also I was lucky to be able to have the resources to be completely free. So it was like a dream. And I was a bit older when I started doing street photography. So I guess I was much less concentrated in improving my CV. I didn't care. That comes with age, I think. And so it was pure enjoyment. And I think maybe I was not a beginner, and it was clear what I was looking for.
okay.
So.
And your photography, when your images, and there is a very nice outdoor exhibition with very huge pictures of yours that you took. They are very colorful. How would you describe your images? And I quote you because I read somewhere that you said serendipity is the soul of an image. So I would love to talk on that.
For me, I love Candid, not because I decided that I have to do Candid because of any rule. It's because by letting things happen in front of me, I get like endless possibilities and the chance for something happening that I could never control, I could never stage. And so I love that process. It's like, for me, sometimes I joke that it's like almost became for me like an occupational therapy. When I have a problem, I take my camera, go out, and I forget everything. So I really enjoy it. And how I describe my photography, I think for me, is a bit like magic, and there's a lot of fantasy. And so I don't know how would I describe that, but I get attracted by that. And colors help that. And this is, I think, I like to make people dream a bit.
Well, as I see your images, they're very humane and very compassionate, and many of them have kind of this joy of life. So would you agree to that? Yeah,
I agree. I think also because of so many backgrounds, when I travel, I connect so at one level it's easy to connect with people and different cultures, and maybe because I traveled when I was a child a lot, and I always say that my mother, every time that we have to leave a country, she will tell us all these fantasies, and we are gonna go to a place like this and that, and we were dreaming, and suddenly everybody wanted to take the plane and go to that amazing place, but end up never amazing. And I think in my photos, I'm always looking for that place, and I create those images that in my head when I was small, sunny and colors, and maybe it's that. I don't know. Maybe I need to see a psychologist.
So it's basically your life that influenced you see.
I think.
Are there also
so.
photographers that influenced your work?
Yeah, I think in color definitely I love like Harry Griert from his Belgium.
Yes.
And Alex Webb and Nikos Economopoulos. I did a few workshops with him also in the beginning to help me like find my voice, and many photographers.
So
and
masters of color, masters of composition.
In the beginning it was like everybody liked and loved and followed Cartier-Bresson when I was in my 20s. He was a big influence.
Okay. And you did black and white as well?
I did a lot of black and white, and a lot of lab.
Okay. And
I don't miss it.
and getting back to this humane or compassionate photography. I mean, one of your projects, Nosotras,
yes.
which was also shortlisted for the Leica Oscar Barnack Award, and it's about the daily lives of girls and women. So just
Yes. So this project came about. I never like find a concept and do it. I always like draw from what I have and work, and I keep seeing that my best pictures, they were all about women. And when you put them together, more and more they show like women they are proactive. They have a true character. They are not sometimes like, especially in the developing world, that people have sometimes an idea of a submission. They are like sadness, but when women are in this country, they have problems, but they have a true life and they are happy, and they are the drive sometimes of the family, they are hard workers. They have a true character, and sometimes it's really difficult to see that a submissive character. And I started liking a lot that idea, that concept, that project, and it keeps coming back. So
kind of strong, strong women,
and
empowered
yes,
women.
and I connect a lot, and those are the ones what every time if I am in Africa or India, they are the women that help me out. If there is, I remember I was one day in Ethiopia, and I was going down a little streets down, just a room over the city, and I have a woman that got my arm and say, "Don't go there. It's not safe. Stay away." So this kind of stuff, they really, really, really help you. There is a true connection.
Okay. So all those women and girls, you talk to them?
Sometimes I do,
afterwards?
sometimes not.
Okay.
Sometimes I do, and it depends. I don't have like a rule, but independently of photographing, I have the connection all the time, even when I'm not photographing. They are my angel that guard me, and then and if I have a question, if I have like, I don't know, it's like beautiful.
Okay. And then when you say there's strong women, is it about the way they behave, the way their posture, the clothes, how they dress?
They are like yes, they are hard workers. They are like the ones that keep the family. Usually they have like they work like 3 jobs, and they are just strong. They are not all very submissive, you know. And so once, if I can make an anecdote very fast, I was taking pictures in I saw in Africa too, in Harar, I think. I don't remember very well. I think it's Harar. And I was taking pictures of a lot of teenagers and young kids, and they start like really annoying me a lot, very, very nasty. And suddenly there was a woman come for 10 minutes, scream at them like crazy. Okay. All the boys put their head down. They apologize. The woman looked at me like this, like with a gesture, like she didn't tell me anything. She just looked at me, saying like, just connecting, and then left. Okay. Like saying, now you're fine. And she was a mother. And this is like, mothers are universal. And that connection, I love it. Okay. So...
Would that be a project? I mean, for example, portraying those women that you met?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm very good at taking portraits, like a stage and telling them. Like I like to get those candid in situations a bit symbolic, like fantasy also, and people can draw their more than only portraits of women. I like them in their daily life, but just having a true personality. So maybe it evolved different, but I think for now this is what I focus.
So it's an ongoing project.
Yeah, because it's an ongoing. Maybe it's an ongoing project until one day I said, okay, I'm gonna make a book. You know, I have enough. And then I feel sometimes books is like oblige you to end the project because you don't want to have the best books out of the project if you don't want to continue. So maybe.
And volume 1, volume 2 is not very...
Yeah, no. It's a lot of work to make a book. So.
But another book you finished and that you published is called Vatan.
Yes.
Maybe tell our
Yes.
listeners about it.
Yes, Watan also is a project that I'm very connected because my husband is from Punjab, and I'm 30 years married now. Actually, in my anniversary is in 3 days, and for all these years, I I wanted to know also his background, and his family came from the side of Punjab that was today is in Pakistan. Punjab was cut in two in 1947 with the independence of India. Half, not half, less than half in India, with the Sikhs and the Muslims, and the other big, even 2/3 are in Pakistan with Muslims. It was divided in religion after 1947, but before it was a syncretic state, completely not divided by any religion, with a true cultural identity. Okay. And so my project is about connecting both sides, from both sides of the border. And it was a beautiful project. I really enjoyed doing it. There was a huge connection with the project and the people, and I saw it in the beginning. It became a project because I saw how my husband reacted with a picture in the beginning about Punjab, which is his homeland, but he never lived there. I know more than Punjab than maybe him. Mm-hmm. So that the diaspora is huge in Punjab, Canada, everywhere. So then it evolved for 5 years, 6 years, until I went to Pakistan, and I came back, and I saw the pictures very similar, even though after 75 years of separation. So I decided to make the book.
Okay, but with the same approach of street
same
photography?
Approach of street photography, because it's like the approach that I know how to do, and I try not to be too descriptive in my pictures, mm-hmm. And for me, to try not to be descriptive and to do something that goes a bit beyond descriptions, they have a bit of layer of meaning and beauty or whatever you want to call. The only way that I know how to do is candid. Is the only way I can get like good pictures. I feel, I cannot. Difficult to stage. I don't know how to stage.
Okay. And then when the book was published, you returned there. Is that correct?
I returned there. That was always I wanted to do that, but we have COVID, and India closed much more than longer than other countries. We couldn't go as a foreigner. Enter India, so we have to wait, and then also I have not only to wait, but I have to bring the books from Singapore. So I end up making a few trips, bringing like 20 books, because I couldn't ship them to India. And then when I had 100 copies in Delhi, okay. I went back to look for the people that were in the pictures. Some I knew the villages, some I didn't, and so it was an amazing work of detective. But so emotional, and I never expected that welcome and that reaction from people. It was beautiful, and I recorded in videos, mm-hmm. And so quite inspiring. My best week, I think, in photography.
Okay, so you gave them for free to the people.
Yeah, I always felt like you have a picture of somebody, mm-hmm. that for years you are editing, and you are improving you're doing like photo correction, you are editing for the book. Suddenly these people become your best friends. You know them forever. They are there. They don't know that. They don't know that they became like so strong, such a connection with these people, mm-hmm. That sometimes you don't even know who they are. And so for me to find them again sometimes they were kids and then they are adults, to find them and to tell them, hey, you are in my book. Thank you so much for allowing me to be in my book. I have one for you. I signed for them. But for them also, it was such a connection because they were for them it was magical to be in a book. So big, the pictures, and a lot of them remember me because even if I don't, if I took them and they saw me, I mean, I was sometimes that blonde woman going to Punjab. They never any foreigner goes to those small villages and take pictures, and they disappear suddenly, or or talk to them a bit, and then suddenly it's 5 years, 7 years later, you go back, find them out of the blue again. You are like, and it was beautiful, the connection.
It gives really another dimension to your street photography.
Yeah, it was.
Human
It was super beautiful. It was very, very special.
Okay.
I have to say.
Okay. So really, yeah. So that's getting me back to the early question about this humane and kind of compassionate approach and social approach.
And like I said, like you, sometimes you see the person is like it's like you know her forever, and you see her again, and you can give a hug, and there is it's beautiful.
Okay. Yeah, you really photograph with your heart, so that one sees that really. And is there something you would give as an advice to beginners in street photography, that they should really follow where their heart is? And I always feel like,
I always feel like if you do a project, the best way to develop a project and to be like strong and to feel like meaningful is that you have to have some connection with the project. In my view, some level of connection, something, because that helps to be first of all, that helps to work for long time and also to relate to it. And to be also, if you have a connection, then you tend to be more responsible. Because with photography, when you have the skill, you have like you have the control, right? And the control gives you a lot of power to do whatever you want. Yes. And that power also, like, you become very selective. That power makes you like have the power of selection of what you're gonna do. And that also brings that you have to have some responsibility. But if you have connection with the project, in my view, you tend to be more responsible, right? Because you are connected and you are defensive of the people. You are, for example, Punjab. Through my in-laws and my husband, there's no way I could be not respectful. Like I would never do that. I was, so that helps also to develop that, you become defensive a bit and protective of that topic or the people or whatever, or the place.
Yes. Okay. Is there another project that you have in?
No, now I think I have maybe starting, and that will be like, I'm thinking how to do it. Maybe that will be a bit of a portrait, but always environment portrait, not like, I don't know, I'll see, but I'm an identical twin. So identical meaning one placenta, one cell. So it is a very special, because you are like a clone of your sister. And every time I see identical twins, there is a connection there. Okay. There is, because there is always a kind of something weird about being identical twin. And so I'm thinking of doing, maybe it's a project a bit more quiet, and about identical twins. Okay. And
female.
Yeah, it's a long time I want to do that. No, any identical twins. Could be two boys or two girls. Okay. And maybe like some writing. I have to think about it, but it's something that it's very personal to me. Okay. And definitely I'm connected to that to that topic. Maybe searching myself, see what other people feel about it, and maybe to give to my sister,
Okay. Yeah, we will follow your work on that. So.
Thank you so much.
And thank you very much for this very interesting interview.
Thank you, thank you, and thank you for inviting me here and for all the care you took of me.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Thank you very much for coming.